Hello, welcome to Playdates. My name is Jose Garza. I am the museum educator at the Contemporary Museum St. Louis. This is our Playdate program. It has been adapted to comply with the health and safety concerns due to COVID-19. Your family will find many artful activities to enjoy the second Saturday morning of the month. You can follow along as Playdates offers hands-on demonstrations for making art at home. A different visual theme is explored each time, such as shape, line, color, and texture. Material kits with supplies for the workshop are provided free prior to booking and can be picked up at CAM's visitor services desk while supplies last. There's plenty of entertainment in store as well, with guest artists who are skilled at dance, music, movement, and storytelling. Families are also invited to the museum any Saturday morning for rotating activity carts that provide self-directed visits. Families with children of all ages and abilities are invited to participate in this free online program. This month, we'll spotlight a current exhibition, demonstrate a paper folding and collage activity, and enjoy a sing-along with our friend, musician Marko Polo. If you have not had a chance to pick up a materials kit, don't worry. This program is being recorded and will be available on our website after today. Pick up a free materials kit with all the supplies you'll need to complete the activity during regular museum hours. Our hours are posted on our website. For this month's theme, we'll explore super shapes, and we'll also explore organic and geometric shapes together and learn about contemporary art and art making. So we're gonna begin with a spotlight tour of current exhibiting artist, Ebony G. Patterson, and her exhibition titled, When the Cut Erupts, the Garden Rings, and the Warning is a Wailing. There is no denying the opulence of Ebony G. Patterson's surfaces. The artist uses materials associated with beauty or wealth, including tapestry, jewelry, glitter, beading, and crochet, to encourage viewers to look closer, to be drawn in by shimmering textures and bright colors. Employing these luscious, verdant Rococo facades as tools or ways to trap the viewer physically, psychologically, and emotionally, in the seductive composition, the artist creates immersive installations that suggest a feeling of an all-encompassing attraction. With a deeper look beneath the vegetation, Patterson has planted discarded shoes and clothing, fragmented body parts, and uses children's toys, evoking loss of life and past violence. By combining her luxurious surfaces with these grotesque, unearthed objects, Patterson conflates layers of beauty and layers of trauma. She states, because it is so alluring, there's so much muchness, it almost becomes kind of a fly trap, where you get sucked in a little further, and then you have to contend with the violence. In making such large works, the artist places us in the center of the images, urging us to consider where we are in relation to them, bearing witness to the beauty and the violence. The garden as a metaphor. Patterson has long been fascinated by the garden metaphorical possibilities. The garden is a post-colonial symbol in her work, where the invisible remnants of violent histories interrupt with visible space. The garden, a natural but cultivated setting, has historically been a place demarcated by class and wealth. The flower garden is decorative, frivolous, and a luxury for those who have the time to cultivate it for pure beauty. Decorative gardens have stood as symbols of leisure around the world since colonial times, and that association continues today, as having access to space to grow plants remains limited with those with less space or access to resources. Patterson also explores the garden as a metaphor for the extension of the body. What does it mean for people who live in places with unintended gardens to press forward? The garden represents those who are invisible or forgotten. Yet it is here that Patterson Patterson's lively works are filled with a sense of hope and survival. Life will always grow. So to give us a little bit of insight into the artwork, we are going to do an activity together. So I'm going to switch over to my activity table. Just give me one moment. If you were able to stop by the museum and pick up a packet, this is what you'll find inside. There is an activity sheet with steps for activity. It's front and back, and we'll go over this together. There's also a set of crayons, some origami paper, construction paper, a glue stick, and I added this cam pencil as a little extra gift from us. So we're gonna start an activity, and I'm gonna go step by step. And just fair warning, I did pre-make some of the materials and steps just for the sake of time. Also, as an art educator, and before that, an art lover, I always really appreciated our teachers that gave us different options for art making. So I like that there are a set of instructions that we can hopefully easily follow, and then you can use the video as a reference, but also feel free to customize this activity as you see fit. I always like when art teachers did that, so that's the kind of art teacher I've become myself. So I'm gonna remove some of these materials so we can concentrate on our first step. So I'm gonna put this the other side of my work table, and then if you're following along, we're gonna start with our origami paper. So just a couple of things to consider before we begin. One is that you can also use your crayons and pre-make some patterns on your paper like I did here. Sometimes this can lead to some kind of surprising or unexpected results. Sometimes you might want that. And there's different colors, so you can start with any color that you want. So I'm just gonna start with maybe this red and this pink, and then the pink already made some stripes on, some patterning, some squares here. So for our first step, you wanna use 2 sheets of the origami paper. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start folding these in half. So, oh yeah, and I maybe I forgot to mention, but it's double-sided, so one side has color and then the other one is white. So what I like to do is I like to fold so that the color paper is on top. So I'm gonna be adjusting my hands a little bit, so hopefully you get a better view of what I'm doing. But I'm gonna start by folding the paper. I'm just gonna fold it in half. And we want to fold each piece in half once, and then in half again and again. So I'm going to do that for you. So it's for a total of 3 times. So that was 1. I'm going to do it again. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I know some of us prefer to be a little bit more meticulous, you know. So it's okay if you see I have a little bit of white showing. That's okay. I always like to say that when we are the artists and we're the ones that notice like all the little tiny mistakes and nobody else sees them. So we go, and then I'm gonna fold it one more time. I'm gonna take it from the top and fold it in. Just like this. And I'm actually gonna do one more, just so I can get like some nice folds in my accordion flower. So we're gonna be making a garden inspired by Abhijit Patterson's work. And then we're starting with these accordion flowers. So once you do this, what you wanna do is you wanna unfold your sheets of paper. So I just did one. And then I'm gonna show you that this is a step that I think it helps when you do a couple. So I already kind of folded a couple extras, and I'll come back to these, but just to show you, this gives me some more options, because then I can maybe do some color coordinated. Maybe I want the green and the red, or the orange and the red, but I'll come back to that. But if you want to do this on your own time, right, your own pace, you can maybe start with folding these a couple times. So then, what I'm going to do now is basically unfold my paper. We're going to do what's called an accordion fold, which is basically when we folded the paper in half, we have these creases, and then we're going to use those as our guide to make an accordion fold. Because this paper is double-sided, what I like to do, it's like I just like to take the fold of the paper that's facing upward. If I look at the other side, I see that my other fold, the bottom is kind of facing up. So I just like to use the part that's facing up because it gives me an accordion fold that's going to face where the color faces outwardly. And then what we want to do is, like I said, you just kind of want to refold, but you're going against some of the creases. So hopefully you can see this here. And you want to turn it back in on itself. So this is called an accordion fold, like the musical instrument. Because we're going to be able to fan it out, and that's the effect that we're going to want. So we're going to turn it in again, and again. Like I said, it's okay if it doesn't perfectly line up. Sometimes they do kind of like line up nice and neat on the fold. Sometimes you have to kind of like wiggle it a little bit to make sure that we're getting a nice straight crease. But this is also, if this is your first time doing this, sometimes it just takes a little bit of practice. I've been practicing all week for this activity, so hopefully I'm pretty good at it by now. And I forgot to mention, this activity was actually our friend Robin Slen helped design this activity for us. So paper folding is not something that I traditionally do, but I've begun to enjoy it ever since I started working on this activity, and since Robin introduced this to me. So there we go. So now we have a nice accordion fold, so it kind of fans out. This is I promise, this is probably like the hardest part of the activity, just kind of doing this folding, because it can be a little tedious, depending on how much of a perfectionist we are. But like I said, this is very low stake art making. We're just doing this in the comfort of our own home. And then again, I already pre-made some other ones just to show you. I also found that this is kind of like meditative. This kind of folding paper is just like, it's kind of like a nice activity when I'm taking a break, actually, from all the other stuff we got going on during the day. But like I said, I already pre-made some, and then if you'd like to do this, it just gives you a little bit more options with how you want your flowers to kind of turn out. Again, we don't know what these are going to look like just yet because I haven't shown you an example. There's some on the sheet. So you can just work intuitively. You can just say, oh, I really like this green and this yellow. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to, for the next part, I'm going to start with this. But then before I forget, some of the other things you can use. So if you like this activity a lot and you run out of the folding paper, you can find a lot. You can find different folding paper. It comes in squares. Typically, these are 6x6 squares. But you can also use magazines. So what I did is, there I bookmarked this here. So this is like a cool magazine I've been holding on for a while. It's got like really great color in it, some great images. Oh, I cut something out there for another time. But also, you can find some, where did I bookmark? You know, like if you want to use like an image like this for your accordion flower, what I did is I just align it to the edge, and then I just traced it and I cut it out. So if you want to use different type of paper to get some kind of unexpected images in your flowers, kind of in the same, in the spirit of Ebony's Patterson's work, maybe you saw in the video that there's some things that are intentionally hidden. I did that where I cut out a piece. This is like the inside of a cathedral. I cut out, I really like the blue and I like some of the different kind of shapes and color in there. And then by chance, I noticed this, but there's like another kind of nice image on the back that maybe I could use. Or what I did earlier too is you can just make your own patterns on the paper. Sometimes that's kind of fun, just kind of playing with the crayons and experimenting a little bit. Like I said, this is customizable. There's like different options that we can take. So it's kind of nice having that because then you can get some really surprising and unexpected results. So we folded our paper. For each flower, you do need 2 sheets of paper. So that's why the first step is to get 2 of them. But you can just kind of make a couple and then choose your own colors as you see fit. We've done the accordion fold. The next thing we want to do is we want to put them together as close as you can. You notice that like just like an accordion, it kind of expands a little bit, right? It has a little bit of it wants to kind of open up again. But what you want to do is just kind of put them together, and like as close as you can to the center, you can kind of pinch it here, and you have a glue stick. So if you have time, you can kind of, I gave you a glue stick because it's like maybe our parents, caretakers, whatever adults is helping us with this activity probably appreciates that this is like not that messy. But if you have Elmer's glue, that works too. Or I didn't put this in your pack because I couldn't fit a stapler in there for everybody. But a stapler works pretty quickly. And of course, if you've never used a stapler before, please have somebody help you with this. But what you want to do is just kind of like find where the center is. And then I'm going to see if I can show you. I'm going to put it here in my stapler. And then I want to kind of hold this together here, because this is going to be the center of our flower. And then this is going to help. This is going to be the part where we get to fan it out. So I'm going to staple. Okay. Like I said, you can use glue also, right? It just takes a little bit longer because you got to wait for it to dry. So I just have this staple here, just kind of holding my two accordion folds together. Then the next thing that we want to do is, again, hopefully you have some scissors at home. These are some safety scissors we have here in our studio. And what you want to do is we want to have our folded accordion paper, and we're going to start kind of cutting some of the edges so we can make a nicer kind of flower. If we fan this out, it's going to make a circle. If you see here, right, it makes like a nice circle. And then these are all quarter circles. So when we put this together, it's going to make a nice round shape. But in order to get like some different texture or just change the edges of our flower, I'm just going to cut the end. And then you'll notice that this is actually, it's going to be kind of big, right? Because this is 6 by 6 inch paper. So you can change the size of your flower by kind of cutting the ends. So for this, I'm just going to like cut a little bit on the outside. Be careful also. And it can be pretty straightforward. Also, if it's a little tough, you can just kind of do each individual side and just kind of use the, you can just kind of get as close as you can to the edges. And I'm going to do the same thing on this end. You probably notice that when you cut some of it out, you get these like nice little accordion pieces. We can kind of, sometimes we can save those. We do want to always clean up at the end, right? But while we're making stuff, that might be like a nice opportunity to use some of that material. So we want to kind of keep it here just in case. But once we do that, we can kind of fold it out, and we'll notice that our flower, it's kind of coming together here. So what we want to do next is, you can kind of glue the inside here so that these parts stick, so we can unfold and so let our flower blossom. But what I like to do is, I'm going to hold this here, and I'm going to show you this since I already have something kind of pre-made. One of my favorite art materials of all time, no matter what I'm doing, one of the most versatile things that I use is double-sided tape. You can find it at local grocery store, drugstore. It's pretty accessible and affordable, but I love this stuff. I use it when I'm collaging. So anytime I work with paper, like double-sided tape, it's like one of my go-tos. Again, I couldn't fit this in your packet. This is like really good for any kind of at-home activities, right? So if you don't have a stapler, you can also use double-sided tape to kind of hold some of your pieces together. But for this, I just added, you can probably see there's like some tape in here on the inside. So on the inside of all my edges, I just added some double-sided tape. So then I can just kind of like bind it together. Again, as we're doing this, you know, some of this stuff, it's nice to kind of work with others because we can get a little bit of help. But see, now we can start kind of putting it together. So if you need help, don't be afraid to ask. So we go here. I'm gonna just pinch that here so it sticks. Again, double-sided tape. Oh, I forgot to put a piece there. Let me just do that quickly, and I'll show you how fast it is. And then I just place it in there. Oh, there we go. And then again, I'm gonna have this here. And then we have like this nice kind of flower shape, right? So this one's that I made using the black origami and the purple origami. kind of moody, right? Maybe appropriate for Halloween, or maybe you can substitute that with an orange. And then I made here, like, I just made a couple of others ahead of time. And you notice that depending on how much you cut of the edges, you can give yourself some different sizes. This is gonna be good just like to have a little bit of variety, just like having different color combinations. You can have like different sizes. Also in this one, I used part of a magazine. So I don't know that O magazine that I just showed you. There was an image of somebody wearing a yellow dress. So I just kind of used some of that. Hopefully you can kind of see some of the difference in there. But then it made like a nice little contrast with some blue I found in the magazine too. But it's kind of great to just give yourself some different sizes. And this just takes a little bit of practice. You know, this obviously like I cut a little bit closer to the center when I made the smaller one. And then this one, I didn't cut. So you can see this is kind of like what one looks like if you don't do anything. Oops, sorry, let me bring it down. So this is what it looks like if you don't cut the edges of your paper. And then when you cut it, sometimes you can see that you can get some really like nice textures there, like those little kind of pointy edges there at the top of the flower. And one last thing to kind of just finish off our accordion flower. So again, you have some different options, sizes, color, different paper you can also use to get some unexpected results, which is always kind of nice and surprising. And then I have this in our studio. If you've been at the museum, sometimes you notice like when we've done play dates on site, we end up with a lot of scraps. So I have this kind of like cool, I don't even know what this is, like a vessel where I just keep a lot of scraps just from different activities that we use. There's like some paper here. So it's kind of nice because like sometimes I can end up using this for other projects. And for this, I was like, oh, this is perfect because like I can use, it's like a little piece of felt that we've had. You can also cut out, again, talking about geometric shapes, circles, and put it in there. You can find these things at craft stores also. Or for this, maybe I can use this little pom-pom. And I just use double-sided tape just so I can put it on there. You can make the nice center of the flower just to kind of make a bigger accent there. Or you can just leave it as it is too, you know. There's like some different options there. Or even something like this, maybe you find that you want to add some different kind of elements that you can glue to the back of your flower here. Let's see what maybe that looks like. Maybe get something like this. Let's see. I don't know. Sometimes we get some kind of cool, unexpected results there. But now that we have these flowers, again, this is kind of like when you watch a cooking show, right? And then they start showing you somebody mixing the flour, and then at the end they're like, and here's the cake. So now I'm going to show you the cake. So in your packet, you have some construction paper, and this is what I'm going to use for the background for my garden, where I'm going to start putting some of these things together. So these are kind of nice. You can just maybe give somebody as a gift. You know, you could be like, you could also maybe use a popsicle stick and then glue it to the back. That's another kind of thought. But you have construction paper. You have like some different colors to choose from. I chose, there's like some really great purple in Edward G. Patterson's work. This is not, this is like a really cool purple, right? That we usually see with construction paper. It's like the closest thing that I could find in our pack here. But I use this to kind of make an arrangement with some of the flowers we made, and then some of these different kind of elements to kind of make our own garden, you know? And then for us, you know, it's kind of about just arranging, you know, feeling like you're inspired. So I'm going to show you the finished cake, as they say here. So I just kind of glued down some extra scraps of paper like I showed you, some different geometric shapes. So this is like a little puffball. I found some triangles, you know, so it's kind of like expanding on the idea of of making the flower, creating it, and then kind of adding some unexpected elements, maybe things that you don't see right away. I like, there's a little eye that I found in the magazine. And then something that I've been saving for a while is a really good friend of mine, Sarah Paulson, who's an artist and an educator like myself, somebody I look up to. Left us this little bug that she worked on from a previous project where she was teaching us some stop motion animation. And I was like, I'm gonna add that here, kind of make like a nice element. So I know that was kind of like, we went from making the flowers to having this kind of our own garden here. I just used 2 flowers. This one has some images from a magazine. But you can just kind of play around with this. There's not one way to do it. What I find that's kind of really fun about art making is that we all have the same steps to do it, but we're all going to have like some different outcomes, you know, so maybe you use some different paper, maybe your flowers come out a little bit different, you know, and then I just kind of felt out where I wanted to put things, you know, and I think this kind of turned out okay. I think the bug's actually kind of making the piece here. But also if you wanted to make other shapes like animals, not just geometric shapes, but organic shapes, so this is like a nice little bug, right? You can use that as well. Yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. So this is how mine turned out. And then if you want to share your works, one of my favorite parts about making art is that in sharing, we can find more meaning, right? We can kind of see what other people did. So if you like sharing on social media, we do have this hashtag you can use, and then maybe we can share some of your projects with everybody. So our hashtag that we're using is CamPlaydates. So if you feel compelled, please share your projects with us. So hopefully you enjoyed the project. I'm gonna move on to my favorite part. So, well, but before I do that, I'm getting a little excited because I'm really excited for our special guest. But yeah, this is in your activity sheet, your activity packet. You have a easy to follow instructions. And then there's some more instructions in the back with some vocabulary words like organic shapes, geometric shapes. We also work in mixed media. So that's where you use different materials to make artwork, similar to Bethany Patterson. And then if you made this activity with us or you're doing it in your home, you also participated in contemporary art making, which is new art that's being made during our time, just like Bethany Patterson, who is a living artist who's making artwork and is exhibiting in a museum currently. So these are the instructions and some materials. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into different possibilities for your project. And again, I'm really excited because our friend Marko Polo, some of you maybe know Marko Polo already. Maybe you've seen Marko Polo perform at the museum. Let me switch my camera here so I can do a proper introduction for our guest, Marko Polo. Our friend Marko Polo brings an energetic and educational musical set that engages family audiences and calls on them to explore the world. As a performer, Marko has found a myriad of opportunities over the years to share his unique songs as a solo artist and with his rock band, Fire Dog. He also works with young people remotely and at area schools with his Song Shaper and Music Maker programs. And then he helps kids create and record their own songs. And then thanks to a Regional Arts Commission Artist Support Grant, Marko Polo is currently working with Grammy Award-winning producer Dean Jones on his first album. So Marko Polo was kind enough to pre-record a sing-along for us. So I hope you enjoy it. And then I'll see you at the end. So let me get that queued up. I'm going to stop my video. Oh, make sure I have all my settings. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Okay, here we go.
Hey there. Thanks for finding me here. I made it out of the house. I'm at the Contemporary Art Museum, St. Louis, with this beautiful artwork. Their current exhibit is Ebony G. Patterson, and it is really beautiful, colorful, has lots of animals in it. Marko Polo. Marko Polo. Marko Polo was an explorer, went across the desert and sailed the seas, traveled from Italy all the way to China. You could find a book about him at the library. You could find a book about him at the library. You could find a book about him at the library. You could find a book about him at the library. Oh, Marko Polo. Marko Polo. I want to play a little game with you. You like games? Me too. This is a call and response. When I say Marko, you say Polo. Say it really loud so I can hear you through the screen. Marko, 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 Polo, Marko. Marko Polo! That's me. So Marko Polo was a real person who was also not me. He was an explorer, someone who investigated new lands, an adventurer. And you know, there's so much to explore just outside your door. You don't have to go to China to be an explorer, you know. Outside my door, so many animals outside my door, outside my door. A hummingbird, sparrows and squirrels, so many animals outside my door. Cats and dogs and coops of chickens, baby rabbits and a hawk. If you're quiet, you can listen to hear them talk. Outside my door, so many animals outside my door, outside my door. A hippopotamus, a rhinoceros, so many animals outside my door. A tower of giraffes, an elephant, a bear. It may be hard to believe, but they are really there. I swear I saw them. What do you see outside your door? Or even just looking out the window. There's a lot to see. A unicorn in my backyard, a dodo bird was born. Dodo bird outside my door. Outside my door. My door. So many animals. So this next song I learned from the Muppet record. It's called New Sound. And it's kind of about the whole world that you can explore just beneath your feet. You might have some dirt in the backyard. You could go digging, see what you see. And there's a part for you in this song. When I say lions roar, you can roar like a lion. And when I say the cry of any bird, you can coo, coo, coo like a bird. Okay, like coo, coo, coo. All right, we'll do it a few times so you can practice. We're gonna start slow and we'll get a little bit faster each time. There's a new sound, the newest sound around, the strangest sound that you have ever heard. Not like a wild boar or a jungle lion's roar. It isn't like the cry of any bird. Coo, 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 coo. It's a new sound, so deep down in the ground, and everyone who listens to it squirms. Cause it's new sound, so deep down in the ground. It's the sound that's made by worms. You ready to go a little faster? There's a new sound, the newest sound around, the strangest sound that you have ever heard. Not like a wild boar or a jungle lion's roar. It isn't like the cry of any bird. Coo, 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 coo. It's a new sound, so deep down in the ground, and everyone who listens to it squirms. Cause it's new sound, so deep down in the ground. It's the sound that's made by worms. Faster. There's a new sound, the newest sound around, the strangest sound that you have ever heard. Not like a wild boar or a jungle lion's roar. It isn't like the cry of any bird. Coo, 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 coo. It's a new sound, so deep down in the ground, and everyone who listens to it squirms. Cause it's new sound, so deep down in the ground. It's the sound that's made by worms. You go faster. There's a new sound, the newest sound around, the strangest sound that you have ever heard. Not a wild boar or a jungle lion's roar. It isn't like the cry of any bird. Coo, 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 coo. It's a new sound, so deep down in the ground, and everyone who listens to it squirms. Cause it's new sound, so deep down in the ground. It's a sound that's made by worms. Worms. You ever find a worm in your dirt over there? Get yourself a little shovel. You know, I like to go out and explore and look around and stuff too. I got in the car the other day and I went down to the creek. You know what I saw? 5 little salamanders. This song's got some movements in it, so I'm gonna ask you to do some things. I'm gonna ask you to wiggle. You know how to wiggle? Clap, jump, stomp, nab. Got it? Wiggle, clap, jump, stomp, nab. You ready? There were 5 little salamanders swimming in the creek. One crawled onto the beach where it could sneak, sneak, sneak. It found a little patch of moss and wiggled all around, making friends with all the worms living underground. There were 4 little salamanders swimming in the creek. One crawled onto the beach where it could sneak, sneak, sneak. It found a little patch of moss and clapped its hands, pretending it was singing in a rock and roll band. There were 3 little salamanders swimming in the creek. One crawled onto the beach where it could sneak, sneak, sneak. It found a little patch of moss and jumped over it, big jump. Listening to the froggies ribbiting their ribbits. Ribbit. When you're a salamander, you can live both on the land, in the water, amphibian. There were two little salamanders swimming in the creek. One crawled onto the beach where it could sneak, sneak, sneak. It found a little patch of moss and stomped its feet. Like a drummer keeping time with the funky beat. There was one little salamander swimming in the creek. It crawled onto the beach where it could sneak, sneak, sneak. It found a little patch of moss and took a little nap. Dreaming it was snuggling in its mother's lap. You're a salamander. You live both on the land, in the water, amphibian. Did you wiggle, clap, jump, stomp, nap? Thank you. Thanks for playing with me. So, just like there's a whole world beneath your feet that you can't even see, unless you go digging, there's also a whole world out there above your heads, way out in the sky. This song's about a cluster of stars, a constellation. And if you look up there in the starry night this winter, you might see this constellation. It's called the Greater Dog. There's a greater dog in the night sky. You can hear its song, sung so clear and high. You can't listen for it. If you look up, you can see when the stars are shining bright. Vermilion bird in the night sky. You can hear its song, sung so clear and high. You can't listen for it. If you look up, you can see when the stars are shining brightly. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. You can't listen for it. If you look up, you can see when the stars are shining brightly. Thank Thank you. That's a new song that I'm working on with my band Fire Dog right now, remotely. And we're gonna release it here with a video animation from a local artist named Sarah Paulson. She also does some programming here at the Contemporary Art Museum. They do some great stuff for young people. Right here, Contemporary Art Museum, St. Louis. And so check it out at firedogroll.com, firedogkids.com. Also, this winter it'll be coming, maybe fall, probably fall. It just started, right? First day of fall. Here we are, and we're exploring our world. You know, been really enjoying the public library lately, and there's so many things you can learn about. This song was written with some fourth graders at Kerrs Mill Elementary, and it's about an animal named the narwhal. Narwhal is an interesting creature. It's a whale with a unique feature. It has a horn growing out of its head. Some people call it the unicorn of the sea. And they did some research online and used the library to find some information about this animal. It's the narwhal, unicorn of the sea. There's a part for you in this song. When I say narwhal, you shout, narwhal! And get your unicorn horn out. Are you ready? Narwhal, unicorn of the sea. It can grow between 13 and 20 feet. Polar bear and orca are its predators, found in the Atlantic and Russian waters. As big as a bus, narwhals swim free, a cross between a unicorn and a manatee. These large mammals eat fish for food. Their tusk is just an overgrown tooth. Narwhal, narwhal, unicorn of the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea, narwhal. Their babies are born blue and gray. They change colors as they age. They use their tusk for echolocation when they're searching for some tasty crustacean. Their tusk has 10 million nerves. When they swim in curves. They live to be 30 or 40 years old. One lived to be 115, so we've been told. Narwhal, narwhal, unicorn of the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea, narwhal, narwhal, unicorn of the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea, narwhal, 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 unicorn of the sea, narwhal, unicorn of the sea, unicorn of the sea, narwhal, unicorn of the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea, narwhal. Thank you. kind of singing some animal songs, but this is another song about a real person, an incredible woman, an American hero named Bessie Coleman. She's a famous airplane pilot. So you can get your arms out. Get your airplane dance on here. A black woman in the 1920s had a dream to be a pilot, fly planes to make some money, but black women weren't allowed in the flight schools of her day. She learned some French, packed her bags, and left the USA. Airplane, 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 flying high. License, studied with an ace, daredevil maneuvers, loop-de-loops, dips and figure eights. In time, Bessie Coleman learned the art of aviation. Back to New York City, became a media sensation. She blew away audiences back in the USA. Bessie Coleman was a hero in the barnstorms of her day. People loved her everywhere, so much they called her queen. She overcame the obstacles and never gave up her dreams. Flying airplane, 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 flying high. Airplane, 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 in the sky. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining me here at the Contemporary Art Museum. This beautiful artwork. There's also a very cool spot just outside the door here of the Contemporary Art Museum. It's part of the Pulitzer, but it's a beautiful outdoor space that you can check out and take a little garden walk. I hope you get to spend a lot of time outside this beautiful fall season and explore your world. I wanna go outside today. Wanna get some sunshine on my face. I don't wanna waste the opportunity. Put the toys back on the shelf. I don't need your help, I do it by myself. Still, I wouldn't mind you sitting next to me. And even if the sky were full of clouds, still we could laugh and sing so loud. Ooh. around a tree. Dig your toes into the dirt. There's so many fossils we could unearth. For what it's worth, I think it's time to plant some seeds. Even if the sky were full of clouds, still we could laugh and sing so loud. Wanna go outside today. I wanna go outside. I wanna go outside. I wanna go outside. Outside today. Outside today. Outside today. Thanks so much for joining me here at Contemporary Art Museum, St. Louis. I'm Marko Polo. I'll see you in the future.
Thank you, Marko Polo, for the wonderful performance. I've seen that video 5 times this week already, and it gets better every time I see it. And I have that Salamander song stuck in my head all week, and that has been wonderful also. And thank you for joining us. Remember to tag your projects. Oh, it's backwards. I need to fix this for next time. Camp Playdates, hashtag Camp Playdates. On social media if you'd like to share. And our next theme will be color creations. Hope to see you then. Thanks for joining us again.